All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, one more day of the year, and it's already July. Would you believe it? This is July the 4th week. It's Thursday, July the 2nd, 2009, and I want to let you all know that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a good show today coming up with you. We have Bob Chapman, and we have Colorado Al. I want to welcome all my friends in Sochi, Russia, Kazan, Russia, the 6 counties of Northern Ireland. I want to especially welcome some new listeners out there. I just got the kudos heads up from Betty, and she has a lot more participants today than she did yesterday. But she wants to let me know that that the show yesterday was pretty good about an herbalist and how to take care of your tinctures, that they went and pulled the show, and they've been listening to it for the last 2 hours. So they're getting a 4-hour rendition of Marines chat room today and a Marines Disquisition. I want to welcome Lisa in Seattle, who has got a couple of her friends over. My special thank you to Bobby, who's got to make sure this show is being backed up and recorded, and to Megan, who's got the website up and running with all of the direct links for Mr. Bob Chapman set there. The archives section for Mr. Bob Chapman will be ready this weekend to all the shows that Mr. Bob Chapman has done with me for the last 2.5 years to 3 years. Well, it'll be a little over 2.5 to 3 years. So to let you know that there's going to be a nice archive section up there you can go back and document stuff with. The list goes on and on and on with the improvements that we're making here, so I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to bring on the International Forecaster. That's theinternationalforecaster.com, editor, chief, cook, and bottle washer, the guy that also sweeps the floors when he's being told to, and to let you know that he's been reading the stories out there and knows what the truth is, advising me just yesterday of a gentleman that was being promoted by a few of you guys out there, and that gentleman puts out a lot of negative information that's an untruth. So you got my response back last night, and I want to welcome Mr. Bob Chapman to the show today, and I know he's got some comments that he would like to make concerning the $1.5 billion worth of Berkshire Hathaway Inc. stock that Mr. Buffett gave away today. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chapman. Uh-oh, I lost Mr. Chapman. I don't have him. Okay, we don't have Mr. Chapman with us just yet. We also have knowledge that Mr. Buffett has still in holding $36 billion in those assets. Bobby, you want to see what you can do about finding out what happened to Mr. Chapman out there? Okay, I appreciate it.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it.
Here we go. I've been sitting here saying I'm here. I'm here.
I didn't have any control over that. I really didn't. Anyway, welcome to the show, Mr. Chapman. What's your input with the $1.5 billion worth of Berkshire Hathaway stock that Mr. Buffett gave away today?
Well, the question is, who did he give it to?
Yeah. I got the word that he gave 428,000 shares to Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, that is a trust, a foundation, and he and his heirs continue to, even though it's gone into the foundation, they continue to control that money.
Oh,
so it hasn't
really
left his hands.
It really didn't leave his hands. He's just making some kind of feel-good stock share.
Well, what he's doing is he's moving it from one account to another and taking advantage of the charitable trust laws. That's what he's doing. And Gates has done the same thing, and when all of those kind of people give money away, the strings attached, and they control it, and they say where it's going, and usually it will go towards efforts to to follow the precepts of the New World Order for world government. Now, that particular trust is a trust purportedly to help people in health and education, but there's a lot more than that than meets the eye.
I could use 1/10,000th of 1% from that money. I mean to tell you, we're talking about money here. Obviously, it's not for the good of the American people. What else has been going on this last week? I understand that there's a lot of evil movement of money around the world. What's going on out there?
Well, first of all, you look at the Madoff situation. I'm sure that you heard, and I got a couple of good articles from Europe on that subject. Mr. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, and certainly he didn't do the right thing, and he is a criminal. But to give him a sentence of 150 years is ludicrous, because, you know, actuarially, he'll only live another 10 years. He could outlive that, but actuarially, that's how long he's going to live. And he probably couldn't stand even one of these prisons that allows him to be in what they call country club type prisons. They're for white-collar criminals. And even at that, I don't think he'd last a couple of years. I think what they intend to do with him is fake his death, like they did with Ken Lay, give him some plastic surgery, and put him in Paraguay or someplace so he can live happily ever after. And that's what I think they're going to do. So, you know, if 6 months to a year from...
Yeah.
So if 6 months to a year from now, you see that he had a heart attack and died, then you will know that that's what they did. Now, one of the important things is that this case is nowhere near settled. We don't know who the other players are. And the United States government doesn't want anybody to know who the other players are, because it was a CIA Mossad scam, just like BCCI and the Nugan Hand scandal in the 1990s and 80s. And they do this perpetually. And the Nugan Hand deal, most of the people who lost money in that, it was out of Australia. Most of the losers were men in the military, men and women in the military. And so this is the kind of deal it really was. There were hundreds of people involved. And in order to find out where the money went is very simple, because all of those bank transfers, when the money came in, it was never invested. It just went in one door and out the other. And it went to accounts offshore in the Caymans and places like that, and also a great deal of it went to Israel. So all the Treasury Department has to do is say, well, here's all the wires of all the money going out from his company, and here's where they went, and this is where the recipients are. And then they can find out who was involved with him. So, and another thing, you know, I worked on Wall Street for 28 years, and you can't run a scam like that without everybody in the street knowing there's something terribly wrong. And so there's a lot of people involved here, and he's being sacrificed, and he probably knew that from the beginning. This deal goes back to 1961. That's 48 years. And so this is nothing new. And as a matter of fact, the SEC had the deal 10 years ago, refused to act on it, and one of their employees is no longer there. An attorney brought the matter to the attention of the higher-ups in the SEC, and they told, oh, no, there's nothing wrong there, and switched it to another situation. So the SEC and the CFTC were in on it as well, and they're both government agencies. And so the whole thing is a scam. It wasn't a Ponzi scheme. It was a scam. You put your money in, and it goes in the front door and goes out the back the same day.